It's easy to think of forgiveness as something we do, and often it is, but forgiveness is not something we initiate. It's something that is first done to us, and then we learn to offer it to others. We forgive because we've been forgiven. The Bible is a book with a lot to say about sin and forgiveness. It acknowledges the deep brokenness and the darkness of this world and in our own individual lives. But it is only by understanding the darkness of human sin that we can understand the remarkable power and light of God's forgiveness. In forgiveness, we learn the true cost of sin and the call to live a holy life. We learn to receive forgiveness, put off sin, and show forgiveness to those who have sinned against us. We learn to pursue true holiness, even in the midst of a broken world. Jesus was often asked questions. The crowds, his disciples, the religious leaders, they all came with questions for Jesus to answer. Matthew records that once Peter came to Jesus with the question, "How often should I forgive someone who has sinned against me?" That has always struck me as a really honest question, one most of us have felt. Perhaps we can work up forgiveness once or twice, but how many times are we expected to forgive someone? There has to be some kind of limit, right? Jesus offered a parable. He told the story of a man who owed his master an incredible sum of money. In today's currency, it was in the millions of dollars. In light of his massive debt, the man went and threw himself at the feet of his master and pleaded for time to pay the money back. Jesus explained that the master was filled with pity and forgave the man's debt. It was an extraordinary act of forgiveness. So, what did the man do? Did he throw a party? Did he run home rejoicing? Did he tell everyone about the master's mercy? Nope. He found the man who owed him a few $1,000s and demanded it be paid. When his debtor asked for more time, the man refused. He had the debtor thrown in jail. It's shocking, but the truth is, we often do it too. Having had his debt forgiven, the money owed to him would now be his alone. He could only see what was in it for him, what he had to gain. His view of the forgiveness extended to him selfishly ended with himself. Eventually, the master found out and called the servant back in. The master chastised him for his unwillingness to show forgiveness to others. "Shouldn't you have mercy on your fellow servant just as I had mercy on you?" That parable answered Peter's question about how many times you should forgive. Peter wanted an answer that placed limits, an answer that set realistic expectations. But there was a risk to the question. It risked misunderstanding how forgiving God is. What Jesus wanted to do was shift Peter's expectation of what was expected of him to what he himself had received. That's always how we should begin thinking about forgiveness. Forgiveness is not first something we do, but something that has been done to us. We don't decide to live in forgiveness, we are already in it. Who we are, our future, the world itself have already been reshaped by the remarkable forgiveness of God on our behalf. The question is, not how many times should we forgive, but rather, how much forgiveness are we capable of recognizing? For once you begin to recognize how great God's forgiveness has been to you, it changes the way you show it to others. For this reason, Jesus instructed his disciples to pray for God's forgiveness and their ability to forgive others. Forgive us our sins, as we have forgiven those who sin against us. How much of God's forgiveness have you experienced? Has your world been changed by it? You'll know by how much of it you are willing to show. How much forgiveness can you show?